Welcome back to 3 Ps and a Podcast. It is episode 10 and we are in the fun sun of Florida.
Let's go. We are thriving today and like just getting to be together again for the second episode in a row.
Yep.
And we're in Florida. Oh, and it's beautiful. It's sunny. I always say this, but I'm just like, we have our iced coffee. It's like there's something about like the iced coffee and a sunny day to record the podcast.
Yes. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, it's how cute is it's like they knew we were coming to record a podcast.
Seriously.
Yeah. Like literally this is the perfect setup. The shape of the couch is perfect. Like there's a charger right by the phone. Like
our setup
we
is
have
immaculate.
a ceiling
like
fan.
A really good ceiling fan. Like changing my life. I like turned it on. It's like one of those like industrial ones that like takes a second to warm up, and I like turn it on and Josie's like, all right, we gotta put that higher. And I'm like, all right, it's still turning on.
Like, I was like, come on, it's gotta get
You
working.
would think we're in metal.
I was like, Coco's like, I'm sweating. It's so hot. I'm like, there's a ceiling fan that's turned on. Her eyes light up and immediately are like, where's the plug for it? Like she's literally like,
we needed that.
Yeah,
we needed that. It is hot in Florida, but it is beautiful.
Yes,
yeah, and if you hear extra like birds and stuff, they're the friends of the pod. Like,
Not for
Josie, but
we were debating like filming outside or not, but like we had to take advantage of this setup. So if you hear some birds, feel tropical with us.
So yeah, maybe watch on YouTube this one because it'll be more like visually fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
We have 100% and things like that.
But we all made it to Florida. We had quite the travel day getting here. I mean, do we want to recap our weeks this week or just jump into like our travel and?
Yeah, I don't really think I had anything like of substance this week other than like just getting here.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, my travel day was awful, but you guys had a lovely time.
Well, yeah, we did. Well, I guess like first of all, we all like planned because Coco was flying in from Milwaukee and we were flying in from Minneapolis. So we all planned a flight to land at the same time because we are like an hour away from the airport. And so we rented a car and we're all going to like drive together. But we all had very early morning flights.
Mm-hmm. Yes, like
yours was what? At what time?
I woke up at 3.
Like,
oh my gosh.
3:30. And then I left my apartment at 4. My Uber driver was like, "You're kind of cutting it close for my taste." And I was like, "Easy, pal." Like,
right. I'm like,
don't
sounds like
it's
not your problem.
right
sounds
now.
like you drop me off at the door and
sounds
then
like you
it's
don't
my
have
issue.
TSA pre-check. So like, I'm the one that's going to be running through. And also like, it was so busy at the airport.
Really? Was
like
it?
checking the bag. Like Delta's had some issue where like the self-check thing wasn't working. So the line was like so long. And I was like, and I was literally there with like so much time to spare. So
good.
I never am going to
We had like the opposite experience of that.
Oh, really?
The standard line actually went through faster.
Yeah, then pre-check. I
Then
texted
TSA.
Erin and I said, not you going through this faster than me. I want a
As we
refund.
clowned her.
No, we
for
absolutely
TSA
conned her. And like, seriously, I
Maybe I
did
don't
end
need
up
it.
getting, we got through it like the same time, but like still, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were up at like
how
literally
for-
3.
I got up at 4. So
Yeah.
And it was the worst because I just do it to myself, but I don't know what it is. I can't pack ahead of time for a trip. And there was this event at my middle school that I was leading the night before. So I got home and then went to dinner with people after. So I just got home at like 9 and then still hadn't packed. And I was like, I'll be in bed by 10:30, but it's just like, no.
Things
So
happen.
I went to
That's
bed at
why-
like 12:30 or something.
I didn't realize you were getting dinner after because I was like calling you trying to FaceTime you and like
I didn't even see your calls until literally yesterday after we got here. I was like, oh, like you tried to FaceTime
yeah, because
me.
I was like trying to get it because you were already at a concert.
Yeah.
So we were like, that's another thing too.
Yeah,
Like
I'm like had the longest day on Friday. Like did it to myself, but I had something for work lit like all day, 7:30 to whatever, and then I work at the U of M, so I decided to stay on campus for a concert at the Varsity Theater that night. Just like last minute, $15. Like somebody that I love from TikTok, Jensen McCrae, the song Massachusetts. And so I did not get home until like 11. And I did pack on Thursday night like a little bit, but like I really had to do some dwindling.
Yeah, the final look through.
I didn't go to bed till 1 a.m.
Yeah. And then we were up at 4 and then, or what time did you get up? Probably like 4:30.
Yeah, 4:30. I set my alarm for 4 and then I was.
She slept in. Yeah. I had to like let the dogs out before I left because Ty's gone too. So
yeah, Hank was like, I woke him up at 3 and that was like reminiscent of when he was like potty training days and he was like, what is going on?
I know.
Totally.
The poor girlies were like like that at first, and then they were like, "Oh, it's time to eat breakfast," and I was
no.
like, "Go back to sleep."
Yeah, no, it's not, girls.
No.
Yes, but yeah,
So,
so
we-
early travel morning. Tried to time our flights to get here on time, and then Josie and I ended up getting in early. Our flight was like a little turbulent,
Yeah.
so that sucked.
They were
but-
probably just like, we gotta get through it.
No,
That's why
seriously.
we were early.
Seriously.
Probably.
You
They
guys were
were.
20 minutes early.
I
I've
were
never
like-
seen
yes,
that
a whole
amount of
20 minutes
pickup
early.
in a flight time.
No, it was amazing. We just zoomed on in, and we then we land, and we are like getting texts from Coco. It's like flight delayed. So you can.
So
take
my
over.
first flight from Milwaukee to Atlanta, we had to do a layover, which normally like Atlanta's huge, so it wasn't that big a deal. The worst turbulence I've ever had in my life, like the type of stuff where you like
Seriously
are
crazy.
suspended in air and you feel like you're on a roller coaster. Like I had to stop watching my movie. I was getting sick,
Oh my gosh.
and like it was just bad. Like I slept for like a lot
Yeah,
of
she
it.
said she almost had to use the bag.
I like was looking for if we had them still. Like I didn't know if they still put them in. I don't know. I was like I haven't seen like a.
I've
barf
actually
bag in,
never
like-
looked for one.
Yeah. I've never used one, but I was like, oh, this
know.
is getting bad. And then, like, lo and behold, I'm like, what is going on? And so then they, like, you can see on our Delta, like, track, it, like, literally had to do, like, a little, like, bump to get around, like, a store. Like, you could see it on our
Oh, it,
map
like,
where we
went-
went.
Oh,
so it
that's
added
pretty
30
wild.
minutes in air. So you guys lost 20. I added 30 on my first flight. We landed in
Oh my
Atlanta.
gosh, I didn't even know
like
that.
Atlanta's massive, so you have to take like the trolley to get to one to the next, whatever. If we would have been on time, if my second connecting flight would have been on time, I would have gotten to the gate like right as they started boarding. So it was a very quick like whatever. But it got pushed back, and then I was like, okay, that kind of sucks, but like I was only going to be 30 minutes more behind you. And then they kept on pushing it back, and I was like, oh my gosh. And at that point, I was like looking at Ubers because I was like, I don't want you guys to not enjoy paradise when I'm like sitting in Atlanta. And so I was like, this is awful. And then I was like, I can Uber, and like the Ubers from the airport to here was like $90, and I was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And then keep on pushing us back. Then halfway through, they're like, all right, you have a gate change. If you're at we're at A3 in Atlanta, you have to go to B27. Which is like in Atlanta, none of the terminals are connected the way it is
Like an
Like
MSP. Dang.
Like you have to take a train to get to the next one. And so they're like, yeah. So we're hustling there. It's delayed. They're waiting on the flight attendants. Like they're coming from another plane. I'm like, why wouldn't you put us at the exact plane that they are already on?
Right.
Like just
100%.
transfer us there.
Right.
Like whatever. And then we finally take off. Also turbulence because it's the storm in Atlanta. We land and I'm just like, it was awful.
So over
was just
it.
Well, and
enough.
then so we were like, we'll wait for Coco. Like it was like 2 hours, and we were like, we'll find something.
Well, yeah,
to
and
do.
we were like, by the time we get off the plane, we get our rental car, we get out of the airport parking lot, like that. It really did. That took probably half an hour, and then
Yeah.
we needed to go to Target.
well, because I forgot my sunglasses with like all the packing things,
Yeah.
whatever. I can't even handle it. And so we went to Target, and then me and Aaron found this like cute like cafe.
Right on the water, super cute.
Yeah, like
Tropical.
near Tampa. And so it was only like 20 minutes from the airport. We're like, perfect. Like, we'll just grab sunglasses quick, go grab a bite to eat, get something for Coco, pick her up, and go. We go to this place. How long did we wait? 45 minutes?
40 minutes at least.
It was
horrible.
Crazy.
And we ordered it to go. I thought that would
Yeah.
bump us up in line a little bit or something.
Right.
And it didn't. And we ordered we're not talking like meals. Like it was a breakfast sandwich,
avocado toast, and the toast wasn't toast, it was bread. They did
avocado bread.
avocado bread.
Yeah, and then I got an acai cup and it was like melted. So we waited 40 minutes and it was like the most mid food
Ever.
It was just disappointing.
So then we're late to get Coco now.
Yeah.
So then Coco Ubered to the cafe, and then we literally
We lit-
swooped that girl, and we
She's
headed to
standing
the
in this like
island.
dirt parking lot,
Yeah,
like in it with her suitcase.
I was sweating my
Well, that's the other thing is like we show up to this thing on the water, and me and Aaron are in all black. Like I'm in leggings and a black
I'm in
shirt.
like joggers and I think this shirt.
The way you travel,
tennis shoes.
like-
yeah.
Yeah.
and tennis shoes, and everybody's in like swimsuits,
Bikinis,
and
their swim covers
flip-flops,
ups,
like
yeah.
biker shorts, like looking
Yeah.
so cute, and we look like
We just got off a plane.
so we're roasting in the sun
Yeah.
and waiting for food. And I usually try and be like patient. And I
not.
understand they have a lot going on, 100%.
I knew you were getting impatient because you totally are usually just like.
Yeah, I
And
just
Josie's
was
like,
so
should we ask where our food is? And I was like,
You guys should have had me there. I
And
would have
by
been.
we, I was like, should we ask? I was like, Erin, can you ask? That's what she knew what I meant by that.
nice.
And she was
And
like,
I
don't
did
want
go
to-
ask
Yeah,
eventually because
yeah.
it did. At first, I was like, maybe just like wait a few more minutes.
Exactly.
And then it hit like 10 more. And I was like, Okay.
You guys
this
are so
is-
nice. If I was there, I would have been like,
Well, if it's a 40-minute wait, it's a 40-minute wait. There's really not
yeah, there's
much
nothing to speed up.
But you have to tell people that. I feel like, right?
Oh, they
When
didn't tell you?
No,
It's a
they
40-minute
were
wait.
like, just so you know, this is going to be there's about a 30 to 40 minute wait for food. We would have been like, we'll go to Sweet Green down the
we
street.
gotta
Like,
get somebody from the airport. Like,
Yeah.
it looked busy, but there were only like 3 people
and
in
it's a
line in front of
cafe.
us.
Like, this isn't like a sit down.
That's
no, it
crazy.
was not.
It's a
sit-down.
cafe.
Yeah.
So we were like,
it was
this will
like
be
walk
quick.
up, get your food sort of thing.
And
It was
the
like
food
a
you guys
coffee
were
shop.
getting is not that complex.
No, like I could have especially once they didn't even bother to put it in the toaster. I was like, okay,
I can
this
do
is a
this.
little crazy. That's a little crazy.
Yeah.
That's
But
insane.
so I don't like to like complain about stuff like that because I feel like they have a
just
lot going
We
on. But
also were heightened of like, we're hangry, delayed flights, like our day just wasn't going. And
no, I was like, I need to
honestly,
get to the
Josie,
beach.
both of our like one thing, Josie and I both our downfalls are a change in plans. Like,
Yes,
we
it
will go
is.
into a tizzy over a change of plans.
Yeah.
And we did good yesterday. Like,
we did.
I was in
good.
a tizzy yesterday.
Well,
I was pissed.
No, when I got the delayed text, like I looked at Erin and I was like, she was like, it's okay. Like, let's just get off the flight. Let's get the car. Let's see what time it is. I was like,
You guys landed before I even took off in Atlanta.
no, I know.
Like,
So I was
like,
I was so nervous that you were gonna keep getting delayed.
same.
So that's when I like was like panicking. I was like, if she gets on this flight, like it's okay. But I was like, if she keeps getting delayed, like what? I was like, I'll pay for her Uber. Like I was
no,
like.
I literally was like
No,
freaking
and it
out.
all
Erin was
worked
like
out.
actually very, very sound of mine. Was like, let's just like we'll get off the plane. Like we'll see. I was like, okay.
Tilly's rubbing off on me.
No, seriously.
Tilly really is like,
I know. I was like, who is this next to me? Yeah. What did they do with Erin?
That's insane.
But once we got here, it was such a beautiful day.
Yeah.
The Airbnb again is just so
So
pretty, so fun to be together. So happy to be on this trip.
yes.
Oh my gosh, we just went straight to the
Passed
pool.
out. We passed out at the pool.
Yes.
I literally
Yeah,
like
we all slept.
We gotta post a picture of me with whatever
Yeah, yeah.
my
Erin
finger
fell
was doing.
asleep.
And no, we were like, haha, Aaron. And then like I'm literally passed out like 20 minutes later. Like face
I
out.
know,
Like
I was like, why am I getting made fun of? I was like,
It's just
your
because it's a
face.
meme now.
Yeah.
It is. But to be fair, I really had 3 hours of sleep. So it was like
Yeah.
an okay reason to be asleep.
Well, like
For
last
sure.
night, I don't know why I kept on waking up too. Like whenever
really?
it's like or not last night, sorry. The night before. Like before
Yeah.
the flight. I was like, I gotta get
I
ready.
did too. I woke up at like 2 a.m. and was like, didn't pack swimsuits. Like,
Did you not?
No, like I did. But at
Oh,
2
yeah,
a.m.
that, yeah.
I was like woke up and remembered, and then I went into my closet at 2 a.m. and threw swimsuits on top of my like.
did-
I don't even remember doing it. Like in the morning, I was like, I do remember doing that, but like
Yeah.
was half asleep and like grabbed my
Yep.
swimsuits and threw them onto my
I
bag.
woke up like I went to bed at like 10, woke up at 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, and I just
Wow,
kept
okay.
on being like, there's bugs in my bed. And then I would like be like, wait,
Bugs in
what? It was so weird.
Are we okay? It sounds kind of
Oh,
crazy.
me and Josie, we got coffees before our flight, and I drank all of mine, but Josie finished like, I mean, it looked like this.
Yeah.
Like it was like pretty
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
And Josie's like, I don't want the rest of this. And she's like, it's fine. I'll just keep it until I'll throw it away after the flight is done. And I was like, just throw it in the garbage when they come by. And she was like,
I know, but it
no,
was
I
full
feel
of
bad. I feel bad. And I was like, we spent probably a 10-minute conversation on if she should throw this coffee.
The girl next
into-
to you guys was probably like,
I hope her headphones
Josie was
were
like,
turned
this
up.
is my anxiety. Like, this is the stuff that I will spiral about. And we
Like,
ended
so
up
random.
we
She was like, thank you so much.
yeah, she was like, I'll take those. And we were like,
I was like, okay.
thank you. And like threw them away. And Josie's like,
so
I can't
silly.
believe we had.
I know. I
Yeah.
was like, is she gonna be
I
like?
will literally take like garbage out of my bag and like put it into
I don't know why the fact that it was like a full cup
yeah, like
made
it's
me
liquid.
like
yeah.
Well, but the garbage bag, I was like, no, the garbage bags are like the
I know,
the
it's
sturdy like
durable.
black garbage bag. Yeah, I was like,
She
you're
had
good.
no problem.
No, and I said to Josie, I was like, this
her
probably
job.
happens every flight.
They probably
she's
get
on.
like dirty diapers. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Like they probably get the weirdest stuff.
Yeah, and people don't think twice. But
Like
here
it's
I
a
am.
Flight
coffee.
attendants pop off. Tell us
So
what you
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was just
throw
funny.
away.
And then
It
before
was
we dive
funny.
into our topic, I was like, I just have to touch on the fact that our last episode was on
yeah.
travel tips, and I followed like literally 0 of them.
We are here for 2 full days, like 4 days, but like 2 full days. The other 2 are travel
quick
days.
trip.
And I
We all
could
checked
live
it
in Florida now with the amount of stuff I packed. Like
We all checked a
my
bag.
arm is sore because there's a bunch of stairs and we have to like carry up our suitcases. Like it's so heavy, and it's actually a little ridiculous.
How much does your
today.
bag weigh? Do you know?
I think it was like 43.
43.
Same.
Mine was 47.
But Erin brought the equipment, so
Yeah.
she gets like a little bit
And
of
my
a
computer
pass.
charger.
And I put your shoes in it. Yeah, I had the equipment, the charger, your shoes.
Oh yeah, Erin
And
took
my
some extra
bag was
shoes for
just
me.
generally a bigger bag. Like you guys have nice mid-size.
Smaller, yeah.
I need to get that. I really need to put that.
That's a
I need to
Christmas
get
list.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a good Christmas list. So anyways, but
One more PSA before we get in. We now know that a ton is 2,000 pounds.
oh my gosh. First of all, I'm so embarrassed that I even said it was 600,000
And you just go, the best is,
Pounds?
you were like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I was like,
tons, and I was like 600,000 pounds, and that's actually, if we're doing 600 tons, it's
It's
1.2 million pounds.
people were commenting being like, oh my God, like the picture of the rocks, I expected it to be like massive. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense that you thought that, because
Yeah.
I was just wrong.
What was it, 1 ton?
It was
it was 6 tons.
It was 12,000 pounds. It was 6
Okay,
tons.
okay,
It was
okay.
6 tons. I added a couple zeros. I was exaggerating a little, but no. The best part was that we like told Tyler, because he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen to every episode. So I was like, "Did you hear what I said on the pod?" And he's like, "No." So Josie was like, "Aaron said that." We were like, as we're shoveling the rocks, Josie was helping with our landscape this week.
Yep, so
She was like, Aaron said that there was 600,000 pounds of rocks in your driveway. And Tyler just was like, ugh, like his mouth dropped open. And he was just like, oh no. And I was
Right.
like, yeah.
Well, and we were like, yeah, she said, like, we realized that, like, a ton is 1,000 pounds. And he goes, well, it's actually 2,000 pounds. And I was like, Coco!
The way that
I could tell
spoke-
Coco. I was like, Coco was wrong too.
The way that I spoke with such conviction, I was talking with one of my Bible study friends, and she sent it to me. She's like, I'm cracking up at this. And she's like, the picture of the rocks is so funny. And I was like, yeah. And also that, like, apparently a ton is 2,000 pounds. And I showed the clip to Dante, my coworker, and he was like, oh my God. Because he's like landscaping right now at his house too.
Oh, sure.
We were like kind of talking about it. And he was like, you didn't know like a ton was 2,000 pounds? I was like, no. And he's like, well, to be fair, like 1 ton equaling 2,000 pounds is kind of like, why wasn't it 1,000 pounds? Like,
Well,
whoever did
that's another question for God.
Another question for God, and also like the American metric system. Like, you know what I mean?
Hello, why are you the way you are?
Totally.
Why are we the way that we are?
So,
But
anyways, we had to make the disclaimer that like we know
we're idiots.
and that it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So,
And
there will
it's
be
not
many
my finest
more.
moment.
Yeah. There will
Good's
be
comment
many-
was like, y'all in the Corey business.
That was the best comment I saw. I was like, shut up. That's so funny.
It was us.
Erin has
So-
a quarry in her backyard.
Yeah.
We go cliff jumping in Aaron's
Just need to fill it with a little water. We live our best cliff jumping lives.
1.2 million gallons of water.
Oh my God, it's so embarrassing.
We're just dumb girls. But this week we're going to talk about what we would have said to our even dumber younger selves.
Yes. That's a perfect transition.
Thank
You're
you.
so
Thank you.
witty.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to talk about advice to our younger selves.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start, but we each made lists. So,
Yeah.
do you want to
can
just start us
yeah. I
off?
can
Like,
get my
what's at the
computer.
top of your list? And
I
I
gotta-
have no rhyme or reason for my order. I feel
No.
like some of them are lighthearted and some are like
Deep.
deep.
Oh, yeah, you guys got a lot.
Okay, so but kind of going off of the anxiety episode that we have, the number one thing I would tell myself is just it's not that serious. And like
Love.
I think like in general, though, I think growing up is just like or maturing is just realizing like what's serious in life and bigger, more important things happen. But there's just so many times where I thought everything was just life and death. And looking back, you just gain more perspective. And so yeah, I would just say like it's just not that serious.
Love that.
Yeah. I have one that's similar to it that I can knock 2 out.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that serious and it's never that personal.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's really
that's a
Never
really
that
good
personal
one.
because like one of my therapists told me like when people are going and this is like something that's helped me is like when you're going through life, you're coming in with your own set of experiences and that is going to impact the way that you are triggered by things. So I'm like I have specific things in my life, like friend drama, things that have like made me be super anxious about friends or like body image stuff. I'm always gonna like be triggered by certain things as opposed to someone else that's had
And
like,
they don't know that you are.
a completely separate, different
It's
set of
really
experiences.
true.
Yeah.
So it's like they're leading with theirs, I'm leading with mine. The amount of times that I'm going into situations thinking about myself, my stuff, my own.
Exactly.
I'm
And
never
they're coming
thinking
in
about them.
thinking about themselves, their
100%.
stuff.
Yeah.
I also think with that, like you just never know what day you're getting someone on. Like there's been days at work where like it's not really in my nature to like snap at someone, but I've been a little bit more like blunt or like snappier. And I've like had to go to them and just be like, I'm so sorry that I like, you know, said that. Or like I've had coworkers come to me being like, I've asked them like a simple question and they've just like, you know, maybe snapped at me. And then they come to me later like, I'm so sorry. Like I am having an awful morning. And it just, so like, it's never that personal. Like, it's like they had something
Yeah.
going on in their personal life or like, I had something going on in mine that I came in, you know,
Yeah.
So like, it's not that personal.
Well, it's
I like
hard
that.
because you like look at life and you're like, like in your head, you're the main character and everybody else kind of is just like the NPCs of like, they're just kind of there, but it's like, no, everybody has their own life.
Yeah.
Everybody has their
And their
own
stuff.
stuff.
So true.
So it's like,
Yeah.
when the moment you kind of like make you not the center of it, it helps to be like, oh, and take accountability when you do something to trigger someone or like whatever. If it's something that's not nice or whatever, like take accountability there. But a lot of times, like you can't control other people's emotions ever.
Yep.
So yeah,
It's so true.
yeah,
That's really good.
yeah.
Speaking of like not worrying, I wrote on mine like not to worry about my life plan and like timeline. I think like in college I was so like I'm gonna get married at like immediately and I'm gonna have kids like within a year. Like
Yeah.
I just feel like I had this like timeline in my mind, and then as we've gotten older and just matured, I've been like, oh,
Yeah.
like, and I did get married like. I can't really speak to that one, like pretty much right after college. But like with kids, like I used to think like, oh, I'm going to have kids by 23 or 24 or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I don't like want that anymore.
Right.
So I think like don't get too ahead of your like life plan. Also like things will pop up in your life that maybe like set off your timeline of life, or like even for you, like did you ever see yourself going to grad school? Like, so it's just like letting life happen. I think I used to want this like plan.
Yeah.
And it's just like let it happen. You don't need to worry so much about where you're going to be and if you're at the right place at the right time, because you just are. And like,
It's so true. I going a little bit off of Coco You and that I wrote chill LOL because I think like it's like just overthinking about like what's next, and then also just like how it's like not that serious. I think that it's just I think even that it's not that personal what you said. I'm like, that's something that like even now I feel like that's something I have to remember. Like there was like a situation a couple weeks ago where like I realized like I was like confused by an interaction and I was like overthinking, and I'm like, it must mean this, and then I just like just kind of like spoke what I was feeling because Coco told me to. And it was like seriously completely fine. I was so overthinking it, you know? So it was just like, I just need to communicate how I'm feeling. And it's not me. Like how people are interacting again is like how they're interacting. Like they're not meaning to like project anything on me. And I just need to like advocate for what I need.
And I was going to say it's often not even like malintent on their end either. Like they don't know how they made you feel. Or
Also, I just think that's like the issue with technology too, is like so much is lost in translation.
I agree.
And I just think like when you get texts sometimes that you're like, oh, did they mean it like this? It's like, no, you're just insecure about something. Yeah. And you're putting that feeling on someone.
When
you know
you brought up the like, it's not that personal, I kind of had that thought. My mind went there for a second of social media or like texting. Cause I'm guilty. I've been living like just such a busy life. The last like this month has been crazy. So I've like noticed like I'll send really quick texts and just be like, okay, or like, awesome,
okay,
and like, cool. And no emotion and whatever. And I'm usually fairly like exclamation point, whatever. And I've had the thought that I'm like, hopefully people aren't interpreting my text as like short or mad or whatever. But it's like, I'm like, it's just not that serious and it's not that personal. Like, or so. Like I'm like I'm just
sending it to let you know that I saw this.
Exactly.
So I'm like exactly, but
totally.
All right.
Kind of going off of that, something I wish I would have told myself younger is like just wait before responding. Like take really 10 minutes, and also to
even like, a day. Like you don't have to respond the same day.
Nope, you're not obligated to anybody to like answer right away. I think like when I was younger, I would answer so quickly about a lot of stuff just because like I wanted to make sure like. I don't know. I was either invited or included,
or like
whatever.
It felt like you were being mean if you were. It felt like you were ignoring it. But it's like no, it's actually healthy to take a pause and like thoughtfully respond when you're not mad,
positive
or
negative. Like like I still do this. I'm so eager to stuff, and like I respond. Like I think of work emails. Like I respond so quickly before all the information is there. It's like, well, nothing is like.
That urgent.
Especially like for sure. And that's the other thing too is other people's urgency is not your own. Like the way that people have anxiety and urgency about a topic is not yours. Now, like treat every situation like don't like diminish other people's like stuff, but it's like especially in my line of work, like I think I just get so wrapped up on like, okay, well, this brand is like asking about this and da 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 da, and Charlie's had to tell me a lot of times like their brand,
they can wait, like it's okay,
like So I mean, honestly, a lot of this stuff comes from like work and like talking with Charlie about a lot of stuff. He's shout out, he's pretty smart, but like, but that's just kind of a like thing that I've learned of like the moment you let other people's energy on a set in life about a situation, friendship, like that's the minute like you stop feeling things and you're just reacting, and it's like no, like.
Exactly.
Wait.
Yeah.
It's not like slow to answer, like kind of using the Bible, but like
For sure. But it's true.
like,
It's just true.
That is the biggest thing
Yeah.
I've been working on.
Okay, so with that, I put advice to my younger self: love Jesus, because I wasn't really a believer in high school.
Yeah.
I wasn't really a strong believer until college. Like, I don't think I understood the gospel really until a little bit into college. And I just feel like so many of my insecurities when I was younger, like, they stem from this misplaced identity in my worth. And also, it's not that like having that, especially in a high school setting, like early college, like there's just so much going on. It's not like that like solves everything. But I just like, I look back and I'm like, there was just this like undercurrent of insecurity in me in high school that like, I don't think I noticed then. But I feel like looking back, I'm like, oh my goodness, wow.
If I just
I'm
said Jesus.
so different.
I just had Jesus.
I mean, obviously it changed my life, of course. But like, that was one thing that I wrote too of like, oh, I wish I was really like towards the end of high school starting to get there. But it's just like cool to look back on like the differences in how like Jesus really has changed my life, and like how there are so many things in the Bible that like, of course,
it's applicable to today.
Help,
yeah.
And so I thought that was like really cool. I was reflecting on that today.
I wrote the same thing, just in different way. Just wrote like your worth isn't in your body, your money, your job. Kind of like, just any of these. I'm trying to think of other things people put their worth in, but like that same thing of like, anytime that I've like been like reliant on how much money I have in my bank account and had worth in like, I have such a big savings or something like that. It's just like, it doesn't get me, like, it does not make me happiness. You always just want more. Or then when it gets really like, there's times where like, your bank account, like I was just saying like a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh my gosh, like we had to like pull from our savings this month. Like we had a lot of vet bills that we didn't expect, like whatever. And I was like, I'm panicking or whatever. And then I'm just like, no, like anytime your worth is like in your money or like, in your job or like solely in your body, it's like that stuff just fails you every time. So kind of the same of just like my faith. Like I wish I just knew to rely on that more as a kid, or my younger self, because it's the only thing that like just hasn't like done me wrong and failed me. And like, so
Totally.
Yeah. Like the whole, all the things that you just were saying of the things that people like commonly put their faith in, like how fickle it is. Yeah. Like something could come up and you need to pay a bill. You could get hurt. Like, and it's not to act like go through life nervous or like avoiding things because of like bad things are going to come. That's not the outlook to have, but like, it's just more of a realistic thing of like, don't put your faith in something that is so temporary. And so like anything could come to all, I have like all those things like that you said, I have things in my head over like, this could end here. This could end here. This could end here. God doesn't end.
Yeah. It's so true.
You know?
I love
and
that.
like the quick to listen, slow to anger has been like kind of on my heart lately. Like my friend Tessa, shout out Tessa, she's a listener of the pod. She always like challenges me since we've been friends, like a word of the year. And she like makes a really sweet like bookmark for me to have like in my Bible and stuff. And it's really cool.
Cute.
And so like mine this year has been listen. Mine every year is bold because I'm like, I just need to be bold in my faith and like, cool. What I think bold is just a great thing for like, especially young women to be. It's like don't be bold because you think it's too much.
Right.
But this year is listen, because I think I just do a lot of this when it comes to God and being like, I want this, and then I just don't like listen to the promptings of like the Holy Spirit. But that too of like, I just react so quickly and I hear what I want to hear, but like, I need to listen.
Yeah.
So
the same way.
Yeah. You guys got any ones on a different tangent or?
You go, Joes.
I said, try and be more comfortable with change. I think like I've had this fear of change since I can remember. So like when I transitioned from like middle school to high school, I was scared. And then it's like high school, like I'm scared of going to college. Like it was just like I'm always like, once I get to the next thing and I adjust, I'm scared of the next. And I think like that really hindered me from like living in the moment and just like embracing where I was.
You're
like
bracing for impact.
No,
like,
seriously. Seriously, like I'm just always on like what's going to change. There's just something, it's just who I am. Like I do not do well with change. I don't like it. Like once I get comfortable, like I love to stay there. And that is just like not how life is. And so I look back and I wish I would just be like a little bit more like accepting of it. Not that you can't have, like, I think there's a normal level of anxiety when it comes to change. And I'm sad that this is changing and friends are leaving and I'm moving and that kind of stuff. But
change is like the number one, like in counseling world, like not the number one thing, but like that I see so much is like a lot of times kids are just in my office because it's like change. And it's like, that's for adults. That's for everybody. Like change is just
that's
hard.
when I got my anxiety like diagnosed was because it was, we were graduating.
Like,
and I was like,
change is just so hard.
Happening? No, I know.
Yeah.
I love to be comfortable. So I think that's one thing I would tell myself too, of like, it's guaranteed. So like learn how to, you know, be okay with that.
Or like shift your mindset to take it on in a different way or something.
Exactly.
One of mine is it's other people's job to like communicate with you too. So I think like in high school, especially, and honestly, like it's something I've been working on in the last like few years even, but like I always feel like it's my job to like make a situation okay, or like I have to bring something up, or like I have to initiate a hard conversation, or like overthinking like, did I say that thing that like they're mad at me, they're acting mad at me, but it's like it's also their job to like let me know if I hurt their feelings. Like instead of me dwelling on like, are they upset with me? Are they ignoring my text for a reason? Are they just like avoiding me?
They have like a weird quirk to their face, and it's like, no, they just maybe had something in their eye.
Yeah. But I'm like, but not dwelling on it, because it's like, it's not my job to like overthink if what I said hurt somebody, or like if my action hurt somebody. It's like, you want to be self-reflective and self-aware. If you really like, hey, actually, like I was probably insensitive when I said that. Maybe I should say sorry. But like, you would do that a lot with like every interaction I had, or like I'd notice like, oh, they like aren't hitting me up as much. Are they mad? And it's just like, well, then they need to also tell me if they're upset. Like you can't live your life wondering if like what every single thing you did, like if someone was rubbed the wrong way. And that goes for like your job, like really anything, or like a family member. It's like they need to come to you too and communicate that they're upset so that you know, like, and I think that's somebody like it's huge. That's changed my perspective a lot. Like I still have a self-awareness, of course, if I really truly did something, but I can't just like sit and guess. Like, and if I don't, like, if you don't tell me that you're upset, then it's like, how am I supposed to know? Like, I can't read your mind. And that's for like our marriage too. That's been huge. Like, it's like, if Ty doesn't come and tell me that something I did upset him, then like I'll never know. Like, because something that I did, and
I think that's healthy because, or like in the sense of it's healthy to not live like that, to constantly be analyzing what you've just done, because that's not the way we got to live. You got to keep going, and like,
and you can shift it like back to yourself too. Like it's vice versa. Like again, in marriage, it's like, if Ty doesn't tell me what's wrong, I'll never know. Or like, if I don't tell him what's wrong, he'll never know. So it's like, it's not just like for him telling me stuff. It's like I use it for myself too, of like, well, that person probably doesn't even know that I might be bothered by this right now. If like, I don't let them know that was bugging me. So you can use that on yourself too.
People are just so wrapped up in their own lives. And that's like, again, bringing it back to the personal thing. This is kind of a different one. And there's two of them together.
Okay, great.
So don't be like, I think we just had like a very, maybe not like, maybe we had a cliquey school. Don't be afraid to 100%. Put yourself out there and just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And
I
just think of, I probably shied away from things because it maybe wasn't like, I'm so glad I did the lifeguarding job in high school. That was something I really wanted to do. And that was a positive example of like, I went and did it, even though none of my friends
none of our friend group was doing that.
At all. Put yourself out there more, and like, don't shy away from telling the truth, is more so in the like dating stuff of like, I think when I was in high school, I would be too afraid to like put myself out there and say like just being honest. I just think like it's really hard at a younger age to like do it, and it's really uncomfortable. But like, now I'm dating, and like I would say like a few years ago I went to a therapist, and I was talking about dating, and I was being super like giddy. And then Becky, I love my therapist, she was like, well, the reason you're reacting like this is just because you're inexperienced. Yeah. And so like, get that experience of just being honest, and like, who cares if someone doesn't like you back? You said it. So and it's true. Off your chest. And like, now I've had experiences where I've like said things and I've just been honest and like put it out there, and like, obviously still single, so like whatever. So like, who cares? But it's like, I'm never gonna have that like, well, I never said it. I never was honest, and I'm never gonna have that feeling, because I'm like, it's all right. I don't need to live in the limbo. Like, it's just meant it's too much mind work.
No, yeah, for sure.
Well, and
it ends in clarity anyway. Like, it's like, I will say, because I mean, like, done that too, and it's like, okay, even if it's not the answer you want, like now I know.
No,
and I don't have
especially
to
when
like,
you're talking about dating, it's like
Yeah.
Oh
that
my
person's
gosh.
going to be your partner for life. So it's just like they
They
need
either
to
accept
know.
it or they don't. Like the person I'm gonna end up with, like, is gonna have to deal with the fact that I'm gonna be crystal clear about everything
which
in
is
my life.
so amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
such a gift.
And when you are married, it only makes you're living with them. Like it's
Yeah.
only more transparent. Like they know they're gonna find out one way or another, like
Yeah.
who you are, your values, your thoughts on things. And so it's just like you got to be upfront, like
Yeah.
to find your perfect match.
100%. And I have like a few instances in my head where like I shied out from saying something in the moment was like right to say it.
Right.
'Cause I was like, I want to preserve the friendship. Who cares?
Or I feel
We're
like
not friends anymore. Anyway.
No, yeah.
friendship not preserved.
Yeah, no.
So it's like, you might as well just be honest, because that's the other thing too. No matter what, like the truth comes out. No matter what,
Yes.
it will always come
My
out.
mom always says that to
Be
me. She was like,
honest.
never lie. Like the truth always comes out.
Yep.
I'm like, it's never failed. Like,
No,
it's
it's
so
so
true.
My parents were so good about it with Lauren and I. Like they were like, you better tell us the truth in the moment rather than us finding out later, because we will be like much more
More
mad later.
understanding up front when we know the whole thing.
God, Lauren
than to
and I-
find out details later. Yeah,
Lauren and I were so honest with them, like to a fault, that like Lauren would like get off my mom still tells us to this day. Lauren would get off the bus. The school hasn't even called her yet. And he's like, well, I got in trouble for talking today. Like
Yeah.
a little 4th grade boy saying
Exactly.
that. Never. So like,
That's also
kudos
such
to my
I
parents
was just
for
gonna
saying
say,
that.
like when I
Like-
talk to my mom and I are so close, and so I've asked her like, what do you like? The heck, like I want to have kids someday and like have that same relationship. And she's just like, I just always tried to be like honest with you so that you'd be honest with me, and like that, like openly communicating that to me of like, please just be honest. Like honesty is the best policy.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
then I can actually like address this and like help you deal with it.
Yep.
Now rather than like, oh, you left out this like minor detail that was actually like huge. And then in that sense too, she's like, I always just try to like stay so calm so that like then it wasn't like I was like, she's
Mad
like,
at you,
there was still a balance there. Like she'd get mad at me or whatever if it was really something I did that was like a teaching moment, but like never like yelling at me or like in my face about it. Cause she's just like, you came to me and told me the truth. And like,
Yep,
that's all I can
that's all
ask
I
for. And I
want.
want you to
Yep.
be able to like always do
And
that.
we're gonna make mistakes. I would also
Yeah.
say too, like I think something I would tell my younger self is to like appreciate my parents more. We all have really amazing families.
Yeah.
So, and we're just like really, really like blessed with that. And I just think we're lucky.
Worship,
So
like-
I would have
like, not
appreciated
worship,
my
value
parents
the
better.
time, like cherish the time.
I wrote that on my thing, like spend lots of time just in general with like the people you love, but like specifically like family. And I think just friends, like it's like, I don't know if this will sound bad, but like one thing is like, I feel like for a while I was just saying yes to like every and any opportunity to get together with like whoever it was. And not that it's like, I still do that. Cause it's like, I feel like in our friendship episode, we talked about just like, you're going to have like acquaintances that want to like meet up or whatever. But like with my mom's diagnosis, it's just really like put in perspective, like, you just don't like looking back. I'm like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have like pushed off family. So it's like shoulda, coulda, woulda. You can never like
No, of
go back.
course
But
not.
now I'm just like super intentional, and it's just like I don't have as much of a bandwidth for people that I like don't see all the time, because I'm just like I'm so focused on like I see my mom whenever I can, or like
Yep.
I'm trying to see like my best friends or like my closest family. Like I'm just a season I'm in, but I'm just like, and that probably sounds bad. Like I'm not trying to not invest in like other people that are
I think
not as
that's
close with, but
natural.
I'm just like, there's been times where I've just been like, oh, well, I can't miss out on like, there's like this concert or something. I don't know how to describe it, but I've just been really like,
Intentional
no, just
about your
spend time
time.
with like the people you love, because you're never going to get enough of it. And like, yeah, I don't know. I feel
No,
like
I
I'm
think
getting
that's
emotional
valid.
about it, but I'm just like,
Okay.
It's okay.
yeah. Like I'm just like when there's a I don't know. I don't want to cry in the pod.
Josie's done it. It's like it's good company.
I think like being on this trip too, like we're here to like spend time with my mom, and so it's just like when you're faced with like a timeline, it's like like a sort of like we don't have a timeline, so that's good. But like, but it's just like when you are hit in the face with like you don't know how long you get with somebody. It's like just spend time with like, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, you're fine. Are we all?
But it's just
Just gonna
hard.
happen at 10, episode 10. We all broke.
But it's just really important to like spend time with people you love, and like not be afraid of like saying no to like this like party that's happening on a Friday night to like, no, I just want to spend time with my mom, or like I just want to spend time with y'all.
Yep.
And that's like,
You're
okay,
never gonna regret that.
No, you're never gonna look
That's-
back and regret. And I knew that, but like there are just things where I've been like, oh my God, when I was like in high school, my family went to Norway. And then I had a soccer tournament in like Sweden. Like it was the coolest experience. But like I remember like wishing that away and being like, oh, I just wish I was at home with my friends at like their pool party. And this was like in high school. So
Right,
granted,
and that's
you're
when
like, you're in more of like a peer. You want to be with your friends. But like looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wish I would have just been like, no, my whole family's on this like cool trip. And like, looking back, it's like that was a once in a lifetime thing. And I wished I was like sassy to my mom and was like, well, everybody's hanging out at like so-and-so's house at a pool party. And I'm like, it's cold in Iceland. Like, are you kidding? Like
in Iceland.
It's surely better than Apple Valley,
No,
Minnesota.
Are you kidding?
I was just telling somebody this the other day. I had my parents had a cabin when I was in high school, and I hated going. Like I was like,
I wouldn't get her out of a cabin.
No, seriously, I was like, they would go up without me and leave me at a friend's house. I did not want to go at all. I just wouldn't go with my family. And then they sold it, and I was like, huh? They're like, you never went with us. And I'm like,
now you're like, please buy it again. Like,
get me on a lake. I'm begging them to. So I look back at that too, and there were just moments of like, I could have just been with my mom, dad, and my brother, like at our cabin, but I was booling around at some random.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, at the end of the day too, it's like the amount of friendships that have like come and go in my life, and that's just life. Like they just do.
So normal.
But it's like, sheesh, like to just have looked back and been like, I could have. Family is like the number one thing. No matter how much you hate them, no matter how much you love them,
Totally.
like. And I don't want to dismiss like really toxic or like
For sure.
you know, people who have really tough family situations. But again, we're just blessed to have
But
like
but if you have like a chosen family of friends, like
right,
this is
right,
like
right.
you guys are also my family.
yes.
you
And
know?
so, but I'm just like the amount of time that you could have been with like the people who are forever. Like I'm just like families forever. They're not going anywhere. They're there through like the thick and thin. So it's just like it sounds so cheesy, but I'm just like, man, I could have like had so many opportunities with them looking back. And I wish my younger self would have embraced that more instead of like, wishing it away. But it is like kind of a rite of passage.
It is. You just are growing. Like
Maybe like the message to our younger selves is like, don't feel stressed to hang out with, like, don't, like, family is the thing to invest in.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to like, it's hard when you're so, like, especially in high school or something, and you're like, well, these friends are doing this, like, obviously still like nurture those relationships, but like the family,
be young and do the like be social and
Totally.
all of that.
kind of related to this, just to check it off the list. I just wrote like, it's okay to outgrow people and like people are in your life for a reason. So I think I kind of touched on that just through this conversation, but just like there are people that were in my life for maybe a year. There are people who are in my life for 10 years and now we're not friends. Like, I think that there are people you just outgrow, and like they might have outgrown me too. Like, it's not that, not just me
It's not that
outgrowing
deep.
them, but it's not that deep, but it's just like, that's just life. And you outgrow people, or you find that your values don't align. And like, and not that you should, we've been talking a lot about how like you should be able, it's really healthy to have people in your life with like different views and values and things, because it's like you grow that way and you challenge yourself. But so I'm not saying to cut off a friendship because of values, but maybe there's something that like, I don't know even how to describe what I'm saying, but just that it's okay to outgrow people, or to say like friend isn't serving, they're not bringing like healthy things to my life anymore. Or whatever.
And there's natural distance. I'll never forget my 5th grade teacher was like, you guys probably won't be friends with these friends like in a little bit. And I looked
That's
at
crazy thing to say to 5th graders.
I looked at Mr. Converse and I was like, you're wrong. He was so right, you know?
Yeah. No, I say it to my middle school kids all the time. Like they'll just be like, and it's so sweet and endearing, but like they'll be like, well, me and my 8th grade boyfriend really want to make it, you know, we want to make it dating through high school. And sometimes I'm just like, you won't. Although I am married to my 8th grade, but we did not date all the way through. Like we did not date.
Coming from Mrs. Weaver.
Are you sure?
Have you told some of your students that?
Yeah. Well, yes, because like there will be girls who are really upset about like a breakup, and I'm just like, don't write it off. Like, I'm married to someone that I dated in middle school, and like, but you never know. But I'm like, we did a lot of growing between, like, we were not friends through high school, like, or college. Like, we weren't in communication. We literally weren't a part of each other's lives. Like, other than like Instagram, we followed each other.
If you have a feeling that a friend doesn't want what's best for you, they're not a true friend.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like,
I just, one.
As soon as the moment you feel like insecure about bringing something up, or you feel weird about like sharing your successes, like a real friend will share successes with you, even if they're in a different life stage.
Mm-hmm. Like, and I was gonna say, like, if they're talking crap to you,
they're talking crap
about you.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it is true. It is proven. It is what it is. Like 100%.
Yeah. I've had friends in the past where like, I would leave the room and wonder, like, am I going to get talked about when I leave this room?
Telltale
like,
sign of them not being
right.
a true
Like,
friend.
you know what I mean? Like, I can leave I feel like I've had to leave things early where y'all are there, and I'm like, it never crosses my mind that like they're going to talk about me when I leave, but like, get out of that friendship. Like, leave.
Ugh, the worst feeling ever.
Yeah. No, we're so blessed with good friends. Like, I don't feel like that.
But also, like, had to have bad friends in order to get there. So like, it
really is. Some of this stuff is just like, you have to fail to succeed. Like, you have to go through stuff to learn, and it's okay.
Yep.
And part of it is maturing, like we said. Mm-hmm. Some things
on that same, I'm just like relating this in, but I wrote like, forgive but don't forget. So like, don't hold, like, it's so exhausting to hold a grudge or to like hold resentment against somebody, and that it takes time to work through. It's not just like snap a finger and I'm over
is
it.
An everyday thing, choice that you have to do.
But like, forgiving but like not forgetting. I think in high school and college I did a lot of like forgive and forget, and like, just move on and like give them a second chance. And like, I believe in second chances too. Like, so that, not ruling that out, but there's just so many situations looking back on life that I've like just moved on and like forgotten what they did to me. And then it's like, they do it again.
When they do it again. And you're like, wait.
And so I'm like, okay, forgive, but keep in mind, like, they've been known to do this. Or like, hey, if they've broken, like, a good example is like, I've just had friends that like I've confided in, and then they've like broken my trust. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, okay, I've forgiven you for that, but like, I would forget, and then I'd go telling them something else, and then they'd like go, do it again, spread that to their people or whatever. And I'm just like, then I would be mad again. And so it's like remembering, like, it's not that I have to like end that friendship, but maybe I'm just more careful about like what I share with them, because I know that they like they are known to like spread whatever I just told them. It's like, whatever, I'm like, I choose a different friend who I know is maybe a little bit better at like holding a secret or whatever. And so it's just like, forgive, but like, you don't have to forget what they did to you. You can like use that to be wiser in that friendship, or to
forgive and adjust, maybe, or forgive and just like, let it in. Like, I don't think
but you're not like dwelling on it. You're not resenting them. You're just kind of like, I don't forget that you've done this before. So I'm a little more careful about like what I share with you. Or like,
grudges aren't helpful for anybody.
No.
It's like the thing of like taking poison and expecting the other person to reap the benefits or the consequences. Like, that's what a grudge is.
Yeah.
So true.
Okay, are there any like last ones that are like really good on anyone's list? I just have one about like comparison. Like, stop comparing, and like kind of like don't put thought into what other people's like thought of you. But it takes, I think, much work. What you've just been saying, the last few things of just like, it just takes time to like learn that. But if I could have done it earlier in my life, I would have. I feel like it held me back from like participating in certain things or saying certain things, because I thought maybe I thought it would come off dumb, or people wouldn't like me, or I'd be too weird. But comparison is just certainly the thief of joy, or like, comparison sometimes makes me want things I don't have, and then it like leads me to nowhere good. And it's like, and then I feel like I've talked about that before, but like, if you're on TikTok and you're like, oh, this influencer is just has like the nice car and the nice whatever and this and this and this, and I just am not in that spot, I don't have that, then you're like wanting this stuff, and usually it's like stuff that you're putting your worth into that's like gonna fail you eventually, or I really want this thing, and then I get that thing because I've been comparing and I really wanted it, I get it, and then I'm like, oh, on to the next thing that I like now want, and I've been comparing or whatever. So I'm like, it doesn't, if you're putting your happiness in that, like, it just doesn't like bring you joy. So comparison is the thief of joy, and it's true.
I feel like that's kind of it. I feel like I have more, but maybe
there's
we'll do
so many more. But if you guys liked this, maybe we can come up with more.
It was like advice to our younger selves, but also advice to current.
Yeah, I think that's one of the other things that I was thinking.
Cool.
Yeah. Like, you're supposed to change every 7 years, but I feel like there's some stuff where I'm like, I'm still learning, and God's still giving me instances
a lot of
where
these,
I'm like,
I feel like I just started learning this, and I wish I could have learned it earlier, or like I'm currently working through that.
Should we get into...
Yes, our pop culture moment is... the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively of it all. And
Yeah.
we're bringing it up this week because Taylor Swift has now been dragged into this. It
Which
feels
is dumb.
I
Like,
think it's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't feel totally well versed. Like I didn't do all my research on this, but I know enough to dabble. And we've
Yep.
been following
We've been following since the beginning.
well, because
Yes.
guys, we were in Butte, Montana on our road trip last summer. We got stranded for 4 days, and that we went and saw. It ends with us in theaters in
With
Butte,
Tyler.
Montana with Tyler. Hey, he actually loved the movie. He really
Our
liked
Uber
it.
driver Gary dropped us off and picked us up.
okay.
Yes,
We
there was
need
like
to talk about
one Uber driver in the whole town, and he like knew us. But
And he said I looked like his granddaughter, and I was like,
we
Grandpa?
bonded.
But yeah, so we
But-
went and saw it. We also read you guys read the book.
Read the book,
So-
but the Baldoni Lively
Of it all.
started coming out like I remember being like, oh my gosh, there are rumors that like things are not well with the cast, and we were like, it can't be true. Like we loved Justin Baldoni, like we
We
were
were Jane the Virgin.
And he
in
has,
Jane the Virgin,
he has
yep.
his like Wayfarer Studios. He has his like movies that he's put out. He's
and
just
he
like
has
P-John.
done some
Yeah.
amazing P-John, like he's done some amazing work with movies and causes. So we were like, there's just no way Justin Baldoni, like these rumors
And
cannot be
also,
true.
like, for the longest time, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds were like America's like sweetheart couple.
Yeah, and so we were like, this
For
is
sure.
crazy stuff. But then like a couple months later, I think was when like the allegations came out, and then all of a sudden there was like the lawsuit. So we've been
Yeah.
following along since the beginning.
Yep.
And we've been a little split. Like I've kind of been Team Justin from the beginning.
I think both of you guys were Team Justin from the beginning. I think I was initially maybe Team Blake because I was like, what's going on?
Well, and then like also
Yeah.
when you're throwing out sexual harassment, I was like, how can you not be Team Blake? And so now I'm kind of like, I just don't. I'm just
Currently,
like,
I'm Team No One because I think it's a big old pride pissing contest, and I think it's so
frustrating me.
embarrassing.
It's frustrating me, and it's ruined the movie.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, yeah. Do we need to give context, or did we already kind of do that? We kind of said it.
I don't know.
Basically, like recently, the thing that happened this week that's like bringing it all up again. Their court case isn't until 2026. So we have unfortunately, but fortunately, it's given us a lot of good drama. But like, it is the public court right now. Like everybody is
I
giving
can't
their
believe
2
they're
cents.
releasing as much as they are.
I know.
but-
There's so
think
much
it's on purpose.
information. Like I was talking about it actually with 2 people from work, and they were like, "Do you think that this is all just like a publicity thing?" And I was like, "When it comes to sexual assault, I don't think so, or sexual harassment,
because that can
or
ruin
whatever."
careers. And like,
Yeah.
if Baldoni gets like, or if like he doesn't get anything, then like Blake and Ryan are gonna look really bad. But like
They
if
already
he gets,
do in the public
they already
eye,
do.
yeah.
Yeah. But then like if he gets charged with this or whatever, or if he has to owe them all this money, like it ruins his career. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, nobody's like, this is really big stuff. Like nobody's gonna walk away unscathed.
No,
like,
and I don't think there will be a second movie because of
No.
all of this too. So I
and,
think
like,
it's like not actually
Colleen
hurting
Hoover
it.
too has been like
She's been weird.
problematic
So
and it's
super
Everything.
weird.
So basically, like the thing that happened this week, though, that why it's back, is that like there was like it was like Justin's lawyers reached out to Taylor Swift, being like
they subpoenaed her.
they subpoenaed her, and Travis Kelsey unfollowed Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds a
and-
few weeks back,
and Blake.
And the thing that happened this week was allegedly, like there was this big document that was released that like 10 years of Taylor Swift's messages with Blake Lively were going to be released. Like, also, what are the actual terms? It was like extortion.
It was
and-
Extortion.
and it was saying that like
was
Blake
the other
Lively
thing?
would release Taylor's texts if she did not like post publicly and take her side.
Yeah, but then apparently, like recently, they won a small win, Blake's team, that like it's not going to be used in the lawsuit. But then
Okay.
like people were commenting, too late, everybody in the public knows.
I know.
And like Taylor is the last person you want to
wanna
mess
mess
with.
with.
Like,
For
I
sure.
feel-
I'm like, don't drag. Also, I feel like bad for her. I'm like,
I do
why are you
too.
getting dragged into this?
but
Like,
also, if she was a part of it, then yeah, like that's valid.
but
But,
I
like,
have heard she was
dumb.
only a part of it because they used her one song in the movie. And then also, I think I had heard that she had maybe like helped, like, I think Blake had like rewritten a scene or something.
Yep.
And Taylor was like, yeah, I like Blake's version better than what Justin Baldoni had like wrote because he was a director.
And I'm like, yeah, like, sorry, she supports her friend. The fact that there's conversation about Taylor and Blake's texts and conversations being released is crazy. I'm like, they're friends.
But isn't Blake the one who's saying, like, it's not even Baldoni, like, it's like saying that, like,
Yes.
Blake is going to
That's
release her own
Blake's
friend's
legal
text.
team,
Not
like
right.
I think, reached out saying that, and I
would be
again
so mad.
This just shows like
There's-
Hollywood is pride.
Yeah.
Like that is
I'm
what
like,
it is.
everything is fake. Like, I'm like, everything is fake.
I'm
I
like, none of
swear.
this is real, but also at the same time, that'd be insane reach to like make this would just be like actually bonkers if it was like fake.
But there's something going on because I'm just like, why would Travis unfollow them? And then also like Taylor and Blake really haven't been spotted together in a long time. Although Blake has been, part of me is like, Blake has been staying out of the public eye, but then I'm like, she's been everywhere.
She's creeping in. She
did that like Time 100 thing where she gave a speech about domestic abuse, and they were like, why couldn't you talk about this when the movie was first out? If you haven't seen the movie It Ends With Us, it's about like a love story intertwined with domestic abuse and domestic violence. Like the way she was like initially, the reason this all started was because like her PR and the way she was going out and talking about the movie was like, grab your girlfriends, wear your floral, go to the movie. Insane. Like the movie is literally about men hitting women. Like insane. No, like sorry, it's crazy.
No, it's
like,
true.
And then she was out with the whole cast, and then Justin had this very like different PR approach, and I'm like, who is the PR team on this movie? Why is this happening that you guys are not aligned? Because that's the other thing too, is that like red carpet interviews are being used because they are saying, yeah, Taylor was a part of it. Ryan gave notice. Like, who is their PR team, and why is there not a directive of what you can and cannot say?
I just am like, how did this get so messy?
It's pride. It's because these people can't. You don't like your coworker? Welcome to real life. Suck it up and do your job.
How much money are you getting paid?
It really is serious things of like. Workplace harassment and stuff like that. I don't want to diminish that, and that is serious. But if it's just like you have a difference of opinion and you have two different scenes, like I'm sorry, but this is what you're getting paid a lot of money to do. So figure it out, do your job, and stop. Why is this my problem?
Yeah, the text messages released that like Blake has sent to haven't made her look very good. But then I'm like, how can you say there's like, I also just am like, I don't know. Like part of me is like, there had to have been some, right? Like
the voice memo that he sent was weird.
Like, it's true. It's true. I
didn't hear the voice memo.
Oh, he was like, you're probably breastfeeding right now. It's like 2 a.m. Like he was just being weird. Like,
he sent it at 2 a.m.
He sent it at 2 a.m.
You can like find it, but
okay.
It's just the whole
I mean,
thing.
I don't think it's all false either.
We don't know. So we're not making any claims. We will see when.
That's why I'm team nobody, because all of it is just like, we don't know. Like it's the court of public opinion. Right now, it does not look good. We are not. Yeah, go.
I do choose Taylor Swift's side.
Yeah,
don't bring her into this.
Well, everybody's like, if this doesn't bring out Rep TV, I don't know what. Like,
that's so true. And
thank you, Blake. Thank you, Blake, for this. Yeah.
There's just been like cast members who spoke out in favor of Blake, and then they've like deleted photos with her now and stuff like that too. So I'm like, what is going on? Like,
I would love.
I just am so intrigued. So, anyways, tell us your takes on it if you have any,
and we'll try and like, if
we're ignorant and there's like a really big piece of information we're missing, please let us know.
Yeah, we might not know everything.
Because we probably don't.
I didn't study up completely, but anyways.
Anyway.
Shall we wrap it up and do our praises for the week?
We gotta get to the beach.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we can have a collective praise that like we're in Florida. Yes. Praise for our trip in Florida.
Whom all blessings flow.
No way.
Yeah, literally praise that we're here in one piece. Like,
and like on a deeper note, like 6 months ago, I wouldn't have even like fathomed that we'd be here with my mom. So like praise that, like literally just praise that like we are just like literally here, not just like, oh, a trip in Florida fun, but like
no, this is like
the deeper thing. I'm like, I can't believe like 6 months ago, my little brain couldn't even comprehend past the next week. So I'm like, I can't believe we're like here. So
yes,
praise to that. So amen. All right. Okay. We're actually going to film our next episode tomorrow, I think.
Yeah. So we're just going to have two Florida
Island Girl episodes. So, okay. We'll see y'all. Well, next Tuesday.
Next week. But, all right. We'll see you all next week.
Love y'all. Bye.